Ethereum appears to be recovering from a 40% dip, but it's not out of the woods yet. I'm going to show you today exactly what Ethereum needs to do, and it's coming up very shortly to be able to recover and push back towards the $3,000 and beyond. Hello guys, and welcome to the House of Crypto. I make videos about Ethereum as well as other cryptocurrencies. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of the latest happening in the cryptocurrency markets. Without further ado then, let's jump into our first piece of news for today. Okay, so obviously this is a Bitcoin story, but obviously Bitcoin has dragged the entire cryptocurrency market with it after plunging 30% to $30,000 at one point in a wild session. Okay, and what basically caused that? Obviously we've had the things from Elon Musk, etc. going on recently, as well as other companies, JP Morgan, as well as China, announcing that they were going to ban Bitcoin. And this has obviously had a knock-on effect, and ultimately what happened is many people were going long, it was overbought, huge amount of liquidation, something like $2 billion worth of Bitcoin was liquidated, which all floods back onto the market and therefore drops the price even further as supply becomes much higher. Now, so I want to bring you over to what Galaxy Digital's Mike Novagratz has said about the Bitcoin plunge, saying the Bitcoin will take probably some good time to recover, but what he has said is that Ethereum is likely to recover given the number of use cases that it has, which obviously we talked about before. So, we're going to take a look at the chart in a minute to see exactly what's going to play out, because we're not necessarily out of the woods yet, and there's obviously some big things to come. So obviously it might have been a bit of a shock to the system yesterday when it plunged, but it could have been 2 minutes away from plunging even further towards $1,000. Justin Sun, the owner of Tron, was minutes away from being liquidated with a position of around $1 billion. If that was to be liquidated, then ETH could have well dropped to well below $1,500, maybe even to below $1,000. Okay, so obviously it's a particularly volatile time, and this is something we should be concerned about in future when we see these huge price hikes, to be aware that actually a lot of people are kind of betting on things going long, and it can be quite volatile. And a piece of news, obviously now we've had a huge amount of negative news that's caused this huge downturn as people got liquidated, and as more people get liquidated, obviously it snowballs down. So something to learn about in the future, to always sort of be taking profits as you go up as well, and always expect, as everyone in the market cycle gets euphoric and is super excited about what's happening, that we maybe need to pay a bit more attention to what really is going on and also not overexpose ourselves. And what I want to bring you over to, which I've been talking about for the last few days, is this new project, Emerald Rockets, which was launched back on Friday. And while the rest of the market has been collapsing, Emerald Rockets, as you can see, is up 807% in just 5 days. If you got involved in that last week, congratulations, because you're probably riding some nice profits at the moment. And I see in the future Emerald Rockets also being able to continue on a price rise. Emerald Rockets is a utility token of Tuition Brokers. Tuition Brokers is an online bank of courses from all the top universities around the world trying to solve the university or student debt problem. So it's already up and running and already profitable, and they've already seen, as you can see down here, this sort of market capitalization, which is already at around $90 million in the space of 5 or so days. At the moment we're sitting around 7 to 8 cents. So you can go and check it out. If you want to know how to buy, I'll leave a link in the description where you can head over to Emerald Rockets, and you can basically buy it through SushiSwap super easily. I'll also leave the code down below, which you need to put into SushiSwap to be able to get hold of your tokens. Right, without further ado then, let's jump into the key part of today's video, which is looking at the chart. As you can see, so this is on the US dollar 1 hour chart, and we came all the way down yesterday and until the bottom of this ascending wedge, which we've been tracking for the last few months, and we found good levels of support here at around the sort of $2,000, and it did dip around to 1,864, which is obviously a bit of a shock to the system. But as we zoom in, what I want to draw your attention to is this sort of compressing triangle here, okay, where we see we're at a very key point literally as we speak. If ETH fails to break out at this top level, we're literally where we're sat right now, then I think we could potentially see it drop to the bottom of this triangle and then potentially drop out the bottom of this, and then we would be looking to try and find and keep support, which would be around either the sort of $2,200 level, so the bottom of the triangle, or down to sort of the $2,000 level. But bear in mind, that the actual range of that position could be much lower. So if we take the fib retracement tool from the top of this and we move it all the way down to the bottom of that dip yesterday, you can see that we're looking at some very key levels right now, where once we break out of this triangle, we'll be looking to break the 382 or the 0.382, and then obviously heading up further, we'll be then looking at the 618 as our sort of next key level. So obviously at the moment we need to break out of this triangle first, but if we do, then I'll be looking at the 0.382, which is around the $2,2826 level, okay, and then beyond there, you know, we've got the 0.5 at around the $3,100 level. Obviously, $3,000 is going to present probably a bit of an obstacle. On the way up, it didn't present much of an obstacle, but bearing in mind, a lot of people may have this in mind as a potential selling point. And as you can see, on the way up, we found significant support on. So we flipped this pretty quickly, and then we found significant support at this level. So do expect that around this area, around the sort of $3,000 to around the $3,200, we could likely see some strong resistance. Jumping over to the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. Now obviously Ethereum fell much harder than Bitcoin yesterday. It's probably due to the fact that Bitcoin has been fairly steady for the last sort of few months, already in a bit of a decline, and then it saw that done, whereas Ethereum had hiked way quicker, way faster, which meant people were a lot more easily shaken out because a lot more people who had bought in much higher are probably shaken out very much more easily. Institutions aren't offloading. You've got Michael Saylor, etc., buying more Bitcoin. Justin Sun buying more Bitcoin and more Ethereum in huge quantities. If you look at the whale wallets, they haven't been offloading their crypto. Okay, so it's retail investors, people like you and me, who have been selling off because maybe they bought in too high and they've been kind of shaken out of the market. And you know, that's what the market's designed to do. It's designed to scare people into selling off their crypto to make it cheaper for the wealthy and the rich buyers to come in, and that's when they're buying when everyone else is fearful, they're buying when everyone else is greedy, they're selling. Okay, so looking at the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, as you can see, we've got this falling pattern here, falling fan pattern, and as you can see, pretty much in coordination with the Ethereum US dollar pattern, it's looking to sort of break through this line at the moment. Now obviously Bitcoin is sort of moving around as well. Bitcoin kind of really needs to stay above the sort of $40,000 level. If it does take a dip, then we will see Ethereum get pulled with it, most likely. But it seems to be looking a bit more steady right this second. However, you know, what happens probably potentially in the next 5 minutes or the next maybe hour or so is key for us to see. And in fact, you know, you can see as we speak, it's literally testing that top line now. Okay, so I probably expect it to break out, come back for a retest, and then probably push back up to the upside with the target sort of being around this level back towards here on 7.9%, and obviously the same thing for Ethereum US dollar. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Just a quick video to keep you updated. Make sure you go and check out that link for Emerald Rockets down below. If you like the content, please hit that like button. It really helps me to get this content to more people. And if you're new to the channel and you have Ethereum or you're interested in Ethereum, make sure you hit that subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of the latest happening in Ethereum as well as other cryptocurrencies. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.